Hi there, it's Atrium and welcome to this new video. So today I'm starting a brand new Let's Build in The Sims 4, and not just The Sims 4, actually in The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, because as you might know, The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs is coming out in 2 days on November 10th, and then you might wonder, why do you have the game already? Well, I actually got early access from EA, which is super cool, thank you for that. And you have seen some Cats and Dogs videos from me already. That is because I was invited to come play the game in San Francisco at Sims Camp, but there, of course, that event was for a couple of days. Now I've got like unlimited access to the game, which means that I can create a ton of videos for you, which is exactly what I'll be doing. So I'm starting this brand new Let's Build, in which I'm building a vet clinic here in this beautiful lot in Brindleton Bay. When I was in San Francisco, I already knew that this would be my favorite lot. And I think it's sort of a perfect lot for a vet clinic, because I personally, honestly, don't really know that much about vet clinics, but still, I felt like, of course, they have to sort of be in the city, but those other lots were a little bit too small. And this is also sort of like on like the side of the city, which makes it very suitable for this, I thought. So yeah, please let me know what you think of The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs. You've probably seen a lot of it already. Let me know if you're excited for it, if you're getting the new expansion pack, and also make sure that you leave a like on this video and subscribe to my channel to see more videos about The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, and of course also this Let's Build come up. What is also important is that you can, of course, leave feedback on what I'm building. I already have something in mind. I've sort of done a little pre-building, and I know that it's gonna be super cool, so make sure you stay tuned, because you've probably seen something in the thumbnail already, but it's going to be super cool. But I'm doing this live, meaning that I'm just talking while I'm also going to be building. Of course, I haven't started yet, but I think it might actually be a good idea to get started. But what is important is that you can leave comments, and in that way, of course, leave feedback about the vet clinic, and in that way I can like use your suggestions to turn this into like a really cool vet clinic. Because the reason I'm starting out with a vet clinic for this Let's Build is that you can, of course, many of you will be getting The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs, and then you will probably want to test out the vet career. So I thought it would be a cool idea to build a vet clinic, because then you can use this one in your game once it comes out for everyone. So yeah, that's exactly the plan for this Let's Build. And I honestly think it's going to be super cool, because as you might know, there's also a lot of new roof tools which have been announced and which actually have come out with the latest patch, which was brought out because The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs is coming. But those roof tools aren't just for cats and dogs, but are actually for everyone, which is super cool, because that means that part of this build will be able which means that you will be able to rebuild part of this build yourself, even if you don't have cats and dogs. And you'll see what I mean later on in the video, I think, if you see what I'm actually going to be building. So yeah, wait a second, or listen, you don't have to wait a second, but yeah, I have to think what my plan was again. Yes, I know it. Okay, so now here you're going to be seeing the magic with regards to the new roof tool, because this was all possible. You probably saw it already, by the way. This is like an octagonal roof. We've got this roof, we've got round roofs as well, which is super cool. I don't know when I'm going to be using it, but maybe sometime. I'll definitely use like those octagonal roofs and stuff, but I'm not sure if I'll be using the round one. But it might be a cool idea to just test it out and create a build once using that roof, just to see what I can do with it, I guess. So yeah, here oh, I actually just skipped like the cool part of the new feature, which is that you can actually extend roofs in this way, which is super cool. And which was something I've literally been waiting for a super long time. And this might sound strange, but seriously, as a builder, this is like a super important tool to have. So therefore I'm very happy that we finally do have it. So yeah, here you already sort of see the concept I'm aiming at. Just have to make this a little bit shorter. There we go. And then this might look strange right now, but I can promise you that this is going to turn out pretty cool. in the end, or not even in the end. In the end of this episode, it will be pretty cool already. These episodes, by the way, of this Let's Build will be, I think, around 20 minutes, something like that. That's what I'm aiming for. And then I'll upload it whenever I want to. And of course, in the first weeks, well, I'll finish it within a couple of weeks, of course, but like the first few days when this is still like exclusive and the game is not out, I'll try to upload as much as I can. And also once the game has come out, I'll try to upload a lot. But especially after Friday, once my exams are over, I'll be able to do so. Until then, I'll really have to do my best in order to get stuff done. But I think it's worth it. So yeah, this is the concept. And then you've also got some new roof trims, which are actually perfect for this. Oh, I see that I actually missed out on one, which is the reason why it looked a little bit strange. There we go. Now this is like super cool if you ask me, because we've also got these new roof trims. Like I said, I'm not too sure which one I'll be using, because this looks pretty sleek if you ask me, but this one looks pretty cool as well. And I've been like wondering or adopting about the style of this clinic for quite some time before I started recording this, because on the one hand I was like, okay, people want to see the new items coming with this new pack, and honestly the items in the new pack aren't modern. And as you can see, in order to use this cool new roof tool, it is important that I'm building something modern. So therefore I felt like it wasn't really, I had to choose one side over another. And therefore in the end I ended up choosing this side, the side with the new roof tools, which I'm focusing on, simply because I'll be doing many speed builds as well, in which I can show the items. But this is a Let's Build where everything is a little bit slower. This is a little bit more like a tutorial. Remember, it is not a tutorial, because sometimes I hear from people that I don't explain enough. Well, this is just a video of me talking and building at the same time. And then, of course, you can learn something, but it's not like a super slow tutorial, because, yeah, that's just not the way Let's Build work, if you ask me. But therefore, still, it is cool that I can show you new techniques, which is easier to do when, which is like perfect to do for the new roof tools. So therefore I ended up choosing the new roof tools over like showing all the items. I do have, I have uploaded an item showcase on my channel already, in which I show all the items which come with cats and dogs. And of course I'll be using quite some of those items in this build as well, but just the style is not really fitting the cats and dogs items, I guess. But still, that doesn't really matter, because these new roof tools did come with like the new pack, or at least the patch for the new pack. So therefore it still feels like it's really suitable, if you ask me. And of course it's a vet clinic, so that's something we had never been able to build before. So therefore it's also pretty logical that this is what I'm doing for the Let's Build. But that's just some reasoning behind why I'm actually doing this and not something different. And just make sure that you're subscribed, like I said, because then you'll also see it whenever I upload a speed build, which is a video in which I build like an entire house just in one video, where I take a couple of videos to create this vet clinic. I just do a speed build where I create like one house in one video. So that is coming up, but like I said, I need a little bit more time in order to do that. And then the first one will definitely be in the cats and dogs style and vibe. And generally, I mean, look at this world. I'm sorry if this first episode might be sort of slow and not too much on topic and sort of going all over the place, because I'm still, I mean, this is still a couple of the first hours that I'm in Brinderton Bay in The Sims for Cats and Dogs. And I mean, the world looks so cool, especially this lot. For some reason it's super cool. I believe that is a yacht club, or it also seems like a swimming pool, but I believe there was something, I mean, you see a yacht club over there. I believe one of the sim gurus told me something about that, which was pretty cool. And generally, I feel like the atmosphere of the world is just super cool. I mean, it might be small details, but the color of the grass, like the regular terrain paint in this lot, is super cool. And then we haven't even started talking about the animals yet. Maybe by the time you're watching this, I have made a decision already, but I'm still doubting right now whether I should do some kind of did I want to say? Cinematic. That's it. I'm thinking about creating some kind of cinematic video in which I show Brindleton Bay and then also cats and dogs, because they're like super cute. And of course, yeah, at Sims Camp I made a couple of shots which I ended up not using in any of my videos, I believe, but like that was super cute, so I thought maybe I can do something like that, like right now that I have like the full game on my PC. But maybe that is coming, I'm not too sure yet. Maybe it's online already, because I'm still not too sure about the planning of these videos, simply because it didn't exactly go the way I expected it to, because I knew I'd get early access, but I didn't know when I would, and simply because of those exams, it didn't really work out exactly the way I'd expected it to go. But therefore it is a little bit, well, not necessarily stressful, but sort of strange. And also we get the codes like a couple of hours before like the actual embargo lifted, so therefore it was sort of rushed, but well, not rushed necessarily, but I still have to come up with some kind of planning. And no worries, this is not a rushed video, though. Yeah, I hope, you know, I'm so excited about the game that I hope I can still sort of come up with a clear story, because of course English not being my first language, and then also at the same time doing the build, sometimes that is a little bit like much, but don't worry about it, it will be fine. I've done this a lot already. So I have a really cool idea to do an atrium in the middle of the building, which means sort of an open courtyard, simply because the front of the building is sort of, well, you know, here in this area I cannot actually add windows, so therefore yeah, if I would actually place rooms behind there are no windows in it, which sort of sucks, because personally I think natural light is one of the most important things in a building. So therefore I thought it would be cool to do like an atrium, which actually is something I'd never done before, so therefore, or have never done before, so therefore it's probably cool to check it out as well. And then like it's useful and it looks cool, I guess. So that's just the plan I have. Like I said, you can leave any suggestions that you have. If you've got something in mind for the Let's Build, just let me know, because then I can actually use that for the next video, or maybe the one after. I'm not too sure how I'll be pre-recording this, but I'll do my best to like get your feedback done, even if it's not like the first video after this one. It might be the one later on, because that in the end doesn't really make a difference. So like you see, or as you can see, I'm using this sort of roof cool thing all the time. I am trying not to sort of overuse this, though I think I'm sort of failing already. But in the end, if I am overusing it, please let me know. But I think so far, like for the front facade, it's really cool. It makes it iconic, makes it special sort of. Then we've got this overhanging structure over here, which I added because, yeah, simply I didn't really know what else to do with this, because otherwise this would be sort of a massive wall behind this roof structure where I wasn't able to add windows, and which would look sort of boring. So I thought, you know, this structure might look cool, and I added it when I tested it out, and that actually looked cool. By the way, don't think that I've planned the entire build already, because I haven't, but I have planned like this first part, because in that way it's easier for me to talk and also like sort of build at the same time. And in that way this first video is just sort of, yeah, it's also or always important with these first Let's Build videos, in my opinion, that that I know what I'm doing, because then in the end the build will be good. And sometimes with Let's Builds, if I don't plan them, normally I don't plan builds in advance, but with Let's Builds I sort of do, because if I don't, they often don't end up as good as speed builds do, simply because then I'm like fully focused on the build, where with these Let's Builds I'm of course also focused on like talking and all of that stuff. But yeah, still I think this is sort of a cool structure if you ask me. But I am wondering, like the color pattern is something I'm not totally sure about yet. This is what I have in mind so far. Let me see. I still have to figure out, of course, that's also always a fun thing with like a new expansion pack, that you still have to look for like where are those specific wall paintings sort of. Normally I know by heart where I can find which wall painting, which is something you simply get when you play The Sims too much, I guess. Well, never too much, but simply a lot. Let me just put on the filter, because then I'll definitely find it, because I'm looking for this one. But then with a new expansion pack, you just have to look for everything, which is sort of funny. And then in like a couple of weeks, I'll be able to like find all the items. What did I have in mind? Let me think. I think this might look cool, because the reason I'm thinking about either doing it super modern, which is the way it is right now, using a lot of white, or at least for the trims I'm using white, and then black for the roof, and then something sort of basic for the walls, I guess. This is what I have in mind. It's not done yet, but I'm working on it. And otherwise I was thinking of doing the trims brown, which I'll show to you in a second, which might be pretty cool as well, but I'm not too sure about it. Simply because the white looks so cool for this. It just really fits the style of this special roof sort of, and then it feels sort of fake to not like admit that this is a modern build, and then trying to make it fit the style of the pack by turning it into something with like more brown tones, I guess. This is what I had in mind right now. Then like right this. Which is pretty cool. Then right now I'll change the color combination into the other option. This is something I would really like to hear your feedback on, because this is sort of an important decision. I'm not too sure yet if I'm making it next episode already. It really depends if I'm pre-recording or not, which, like I said, I don't know yet. It really depends. But otherwise it would be something like this. But then maybe also a little bit more wood in like the rest of the framing, or not the framing, the textures, I mean the wall paintings. So then of course I've got to finish it off by adding this one, otherwise it's sort of strange. So this is what it would look like, which is pretty cool as well, if you ask me. Then let me test one thing, because that might be an important part, using these windows. I'm planning on adding windows down here, because in the end I know it's many windows, but it is a modern build. So yeah, whether I'm using brown or white, it doesn't matter. It's a modern build because of that roof structure. So I am also using like the modern windows. Let me see, which one did I want to add? Then this one might fit. Well, then I might go for this ugly door. There we go. Well, I'm not too sure if I would add that in like the final one, but for now, this is just to give you an impression of what it could be. But I think for now, I'm going for the modern look, because I personally think that is cooler. And it really fits this cool roof structure, because I mean, you really have to test this out. If you haven't downloaded the patch yet, you just have to make sure that you do, because seriously, it's super cool being able to be so creative with the roofs. And I'm sure that I'll be doing super many like new speed builds, maybe also tiny speed builds where I'm just going all crazy with the roofs. So of course a vet clinic also needs a logo on top, or just, yeah, logo and a name. So I've got to look that up. And then I believe there's logos there. We've got a couple, but I'm not too sure if I like those. Then they would have to be white. But then this makes the building too boring, I think, if you ask me. And I believe when I did the overview, the item showcase, I also saw a different logo. But now I've got to make sure I find it. Once again, this is what you have when you only just have gotten the pack. You just still have to look for all the items. Okay, I can literally not find it. Then this is the way to go, I guess. This will also show you quickly how many items there are. Is this everything? No, this is only just the pets stuff. I wanted to see everything. Show all. And then cats and dogs, there we go. Yep, this one might be cool. This is the one I had in mind. And then placing it there. On the one hand, I really like the yellow color, but it doesn't really fit the vet clinic, if you ask me. So maybe this might be better, but then it fits the rest of the colors too well. And I think this creates some kind of nice contrast, I guess. So therefore, I think I'm going for this one right now. But if you have anything to say about that, please let me know, because any feedback is good feedback. Because in the end, you know, many of you will probably be downloading this build, so I've got to make sure that you like it as well, because that is just a lot of fun if you're able to play with like a cool looking build in the end, and a build which you like. But anyways, this is the end of this first episode of this Let's Build in The Sims 4 Cats and Dogs. Like I said, I hope this was sort of coherent. I'm super excited about the packs, so therefore talking is a little bit harder than it normally is, I guess. But yeah, let me know what you think of the video. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And of course, make sure that you check out the next episode once it comes out. And just leave some feedback about the build, because in that way, the build will turn out to be super cool. So thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you back later.